last time?
I did. Your turn.
Welcome back to Hometown TCG, everyone. My name is Josh.
And I'm John.
And we are here to tell you if Crew Unlimited is going to kill this game. Oh, Monarch Spoilers. We are here to be excited about Monarch Spoilers. Take two, clip.
Here we go. Welcome back to... All right. Monarch Spoilers. So we just had 3 new cards come out. They are pretty insane. People are posting everywhere on the Flesh and Blood fan page, all the different pages.
All over Reddit. Reddit's exploding.
And people are trying to figure out what the heck these cards mean. So we're going to talk about them. We have some ideas, some speculations on what they'll mean for other things. So let's figure it out. Let's just start by looking at the cards.
Absolutely. Let's start with Eclipse.
Okay.
So 0 cost, 3 pitch. We're going to put it up on screen for you. It's a character-specific specialization, correct?
Right. So this is something that only Kane can use. It's going to be a new hero that's introduced, and he's going to be apparently a shadow hero.
Yes.
And we don't know the class.
Yes, we don't know the class. We know
guess.
based on the fact that it's a shadow card and it's a class or it's a hero specific card that I'm going to call him Chain because it's funnier. Chain is going to be a shadow hero. There's also another mechanic in this card. So the card reads, play Eclipse only if you have played 6 or more cards with Blood Debt this turn.
Which is pretty insane.
If you have, you may play Eclipse from your banished zone. Create an Ursur the Soul Reaper token. There's so much to unpack there.
I was just going to say that. All right, so first of all, Blood Debt, playing 6 cards.
Yes.
As things currently stand, that doesn't really seem possible.
It's a lot of magic momentum.
Yes. So it could be something like Viscerai in that there's tokens that come out in the field, so maybe you can like... I don't even know. You can put them aside to be played the following turn or something like that.
Sure, it's a resource to,
some sort of
pay it and do. It's a 1 damage attack and it counts as paying a blood debt or something of the nature. Our speculation on that is very light. Let's call it that.
Right. Okay, but then the next part, you can play it from the banished zone.
Now, this is unique because up to this point, and this is very common amongst most TCGs like to have an area of the game that truly is untouchable, right? Mm-hmm. Once something goes there, it's because it's so powerful, or because the removal used against it was so powerful, it should never be accessed again.
Right. Now,
this is playing from that zone.
Yeah, it's weird. And we do actually see a card that'll be spoiled after this that does talk about the banished zone.
It does.
It doesn't necessarily interact with this card specifically.
But it does deal with the banished zone.
But it does deal with the banished zone, so we know there's something going on there in this set.
Okay, and then the last unknown here is the Ursur the Soul Reaper token. That sounds like a token of a character?
Yeah, it'd be like allies or creatures or something like that.
Right.
It seems like it would be extremely powerful. This is like it's your legendary card, it's your one of. It's probably something you're using at the end of the game because you're having to set up this giant turn of playing 6 blood debts.
Absolutely.
So it has to be worth it, whatever it is.
Yes. So can we speculate on this card?
I'll take a guess that maybe it's something that it comes onto the field similar to a token, and then the next turn it's like it gets to do an attack. Or do you think it could stay out on the field?
It's like an aura.
Maybe it does have like a health or something. Like it's a 1 health thing that comes out and it has an attack of like deal 3 damage, go again. So they have to push through 1 damage on it, maybe?
But if it's deal 3 damage, go again, and now we're getting so far off the speculation,
I don't know.
But if it's deal 3 damage, go again, is it powerful enough to justify? I mean, you have to play 6 cards. How easy will that be? How difficult will that be? We don't know, but stay tuned. We're going to follow this whole blood debt mechanic because that's very interesting.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
We're going to move to the next spoiler card, and you go ahead and read this one.
Okay, so Eclipse Existence. This does have to do with the banish.
Yes.
Blue card. No defense.
No defense?
No defense.
No defense.
Whenever an attack you control hits a light hero this turn, you may banish a card from their soul. If you do, they lose 1 life.
Okay.
If you have more life than an opposing light hero, you may banish an action card from your graveyard.
True. So let's touch on this first. We've now talked about dark and light. I know we actually hit an unknown earlier in the text of this card, but the first thing I want to touch on is the light v dark. Now, there was speculation amongst the Hometown TCG offices? Yeah, sure, Hometown TCG offices, that you were either going to be able to declare light or dark, or certain heroes were going to be automatically grouped into light heroes and dark heroes. Based on not only the chain, specialization. But now this card, it seems like it's more likely that we will be grouped. Heroes will be grouped into either light or dark.
Yeah, if there's Kane as his legendary card is a dark card, it's probably just that he can be dark. So, maybe Dorinthia could be a light hero.
Right.
Or Reinhardt could be a dark.
And Bravo would let you. Right. So on and so forth, right?
So this is a shadow card.
Yes. And,
gosh, when it hits a light hero, so we know it's probably more of a side deck card, you may banish a card from their soul.
And if they do, they lose one light. So now there's this concept of a soul. And this brought us back to earlier murmurings of the fact that the game mechanics, and more specifically the pitch mechanic, wasn't fully fleshed. I believe the first 3 sets were made to be a simplification of what the true game and the true gameplay would be.
Right.
And so we think this is going to have something to do with pitch, correct?
It could be something like the cards you pitch, they actually go to a separate pile and they don't go back into your deck until your deck runs out. This is just an idea I have. And this is like your soul zone. And so you may have cards that interact specifically with those cards, with only cards that you've pitched previously, and you deck out, then that card, then it comes right back in.
And now I think it's more likely that when you pitch a card, during your cleanup phase, you can return the pitch to the bottom of your deck, if it truly is interacting with pitch, or you can add it to your soul zone. Both? Your soul zone never comes back to your deck. Which is going to add interesting gameplay mechanics to not only play out of that soul zone, but also filter your deck the first time through.
Yeah, so what I like about that is it is a trade-off. One, you have less cards in your deck, so you're easier to fatigue, if that's the case, but it's easier to set up your thing. You could imagine setting up a huge Kano combo, and you just, it's easy. You can keep pitching cards and put them in your soul until you get to that blazing.
Exactly. So you can set up your combo a little more likely and kind of pick and choose what's exactly at the bottom of your deck. But like you said, it's a trade-off. You put yourself at risk of becoming fatigued. So,
all right. So then,
it's safe to say that we should have done this video in tinfoil hats.
Yeah, we should have.
100% should have.
We'll do it in post.
Can we get? Can the editor put tinfoil hats right on our heads? That would be fantastic. Mine taller, obviously.
One more thing to talk about on this though is the banish an action card from your graveyard.
Oh, that's right.
So you're doing that to yourself. Currently, there's not really interaction with your graveyard.
Well, currently there's no interaction with the graveyard.
Other than remembrance.
And actually, during the judge's ruling, it said for as far as equipment destroyed, that you can choose to flip it over because there's currently no interaction with equipment in the graveyard. But in parentheses, it says this will change.
So what we think is this could have something like trying to order your discard pile.
Yes.
So let's say
if another card interacts with the top of the discard pile and you want to dig to it, this is a good way to dig.
Right. Maybe it's playing equipment if it's the top card of your discard pile. And you need to get to that.
Oh, that would be OP.
Ooh, imagine that on Runeblade.
Okay, our hat's got to come back on. More tinfoil hats, please.
Doomsday time.
Okay, so the final spoiler card that we've got so far is Doomsday. It's another blue pitch, 0 cost. It's a legendary Lavia specialization.
Levia?
Livia?
Lavia? I like Lavia. I do agree with you on this one.
Again, it's a 1 of in the deck, and only if you're playing Lavia. Play Doomsday only if there are 6 or more cards with Blood Debt in your banished zone.
More banished zone?
And then create a Blasmophet, the Soul Harvester token.
Okay.
Blasmophet?
I think so.
Blasmophet. I get all the hard pronunciations. I like it.
Okay, so play it only if you have 6 or more. So this is clearly a card that you set up for your late game. You're trying to banish them.
This is not a turn 1 play.
You assume that the Shadow, what is it? Shadow Eclipse Existence interacts with that, trying to get them into your grave. This is an obvious interaction.
True.
The nice thing about it is it's a blue card, so you can pitch it to the bottom of your deck as you're setting up, and then get it late game to create your Blasphemous.
So still no... Blasmophet. Still no defense, though. I love that LSS is giving us powerful cards. They're giving us the Eye. They're giving us Heart. They're giving us these couple legendaries. They have cool effects. However, there is a trade-off for those powerful cards. So if you don't have them in your deck, you do get... You don't get the advantage of the card effect, but maybe you get a different advantage with a little more defense or something like that. So I like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it can be... We've seen in the past that it can be a huge detriment, huge liability without having it. But this... Whatever this token is, it's got to be powerful.
It's got to be incredible. All right, which token's more powerful? Blasmophet or Urser? You got to pick one right now.
Blasmophet seems like it's insane.
No, I got Urser. I'm taking our theme Mercer over here. Okay, so those are the 3 spoilers that we've come across so far, and that's kind of done something to the landscape as it sits right now, particularly with one of my favorite cards since its release.
Oh, yes. Okay. I didn't know where you're going with this.
No,
now I do.
This has changed the landscape. As a Magic the Gathering player from way back, it's changed the landscape for Flesh and Blood's only counterspell, Aetherize. As of the shooting of this video, all Aetherizes are currently unavailable. They have all been bought up.
I mean, we looked like 15 minutes after the announcement was made. We're like, dude, we need to get some Aetherize.
Yes, I think I have 6. They're all rainbow foil, and you have a couple. You have a couple that you could play.
I got my play set.
Yes.
I think I have like 1 or 2 rainbow foil as well.
Yes, so I picked them up because, again, as a Magic the Gathering player, it's the only counterspell. It sounds so exciting, and everything that's been spoiled has been an instant.
Yes, crazy.
So everything's spoiled that's an instance, and luckily there's still 3.
Wait. What if you could pitch your Aetherize and then put it into your soul and activate that later to counterspell this?
Oh, put it in your soul, so it's almost in a.
Okay, now we're really
now
getting
we're
deep
really.
now. I don't know.
That's back.
Okay.
So, but that goes along with. So there's going to be 6 legendaries, correct? And I believe
Yes.
as of right now, from what's been spoiled, 2 are class specific, but 1 is generic dark. So I think it's safe to say.
Right. So that's what we think. Right?
I think
if there's 2 shadow ones, we got to assume there's 2 light ones.
Yes, and there's 2 light class specialization ones, I'd assume.
Right. So that's 4 heroes. We also see on the website there's a spot for 4 new heroes.
Right. So that kind of shapes up.
Okay. So we know 4 new heroes, 4 of the specializations. That leaves, what are the other 2 legendaries?
What are the other 2 legendaries? Do you think they're generic?
I think they are going to be 1 shadow, 1 light that aren't specializations. Just you can use it for any shadow character or any light character.
So there's going to be 1 more shadow legendary, 1 more light legendary. Light can be played for any light, shadow. Okay. That is very interesting. I like that. Are they all going to be instants?
Ooh.
Are all the legendaries going to be instants?
It really feels like it. They're up in their instant game right now.
They are up in their instant game.
I got to imagine.
Instant.
Think about it. All the legendaries were equipments in the past.
True.
The legendaries are instants.
Then the legendaries were characters, right? It was Shyana.
Well, that's a weird set. That's Crew.
Crew's amazing. Aetherize. All right, so we assume we're getting these 4 new heroes. We've kind of spec'd on the legendary landscape.
Let's talk about, if you look into the card gallery, shout out to Cale McCreath, who pointed this out in the Flesh and Blood fan page.
Okay.
He said that
Is it Cale or Chael?
It's Cale. All right. There are 10 spots that have question marks in the card gallery, meaning in every other one, those were dedicated to the classes.
Every other gallery.
Every other gallery.
Yes, those are, yeah.
So we know there's 10 different classes in this set, and then generics.
We use the word "no" very lightly.
Oh, we know.
We know. We know
Right.
that you know.
Based on the past, we can surmise that there are 10 different classes in this set. What's interesting is that some of them have a lot of support, like 32 cards of support. And
wasn't there one with 8?
8.
Yeah, okay.
8.
Two
There's
of
some
them,
that have,
specifically.
I think 2 of them have 8 and like a 14.
Okay.
So there's some with little. So, maybe warrior, ninja,
Dash has got like 14. Yeah.
Yeah, so those might have little, and the 32s might have a lot. But here's the other interesting thing. There's currently 8 classes, and there are 4 new heroes, but there's 10 slots for classes.
Yes.
So I guess we can assume that there are 4 here, maybe 2 of each of the new class?
I think it would have to be, because of our spoilers, we learned about Lavia and Chael.
Chael. No. Kane.
Chain. Sorry. We learned about Lavia and Chain. So, and those are both dark specialization heroes. So, just in the assumption of balance, right? We assume that there's 2 light specialization heroes, correct?
Yes. So, I mean, it could be 2 clerics and 2 necromancers, or it could just be there's a necromancer and, there's another rune blade, or, there's another brute.
Oh, yes.
Something like that. And,
absolutely.
And those classes get extra support as well, specifically for them.
What do you guys hope? I'm going to ask you this question live. I haven't asked you this. This is our number 1 brute fan, maybe in the format. What's your hope for Brute? Do you want Brute to be light or dark?
I mean, it makes sense he's dark. His playmat is him ripping a carcass and just showering in the blood. Like, it doesn't seem like a light hero.
I didn't ask what the logic was. I said, what do you want?
He can be a dark hero.
You would disappoint the Jedi. All right, so that's kind of the lay of the landscape that we got so far.
Yeah, there's
anything else?
One thing I wanted to point out as well.
Okay.
So if these are instants as the legendaries, that means that maybe they will have majestic slots as the equipment, similar to what they did in crew.
Okay.
And that may be the standard going forward, which I think that would be kind of cool, because I think these instants are powerful, but the equipment is really the most important part of your deck.
Absolutely.
So they might be making the equipment majestic, so okay, you can open the majestic, get one of those, maybe buy the single for cheap.
To make it more accessible.
And make it more accessible, yeah.
And we talked about this when I started in the game. I had concerns about Findel Spring Tunic at the start of the game was a very powerful piece of equipment.
Yeah.
It almost felt like a must-have if you wanted to be competitive at the time. And it did feel a little bit unobtainable at times being a legendary. If they move away from that, I'm all for it. My fear always will be if the legendary breaks the game and everyone who plays a hero must have it and you can't play the hero without it, that's going to be tough. Right. Especially with Unlimited being 3 weeks away, like we talked about in the last video. Those events are going to get interesting.
Dude. You know, we didn't even talk about the Fable. So I'm going to ask you a question on the spot.
Sure.
Any prediction for a Fable?
No.
This is a hard one.
This is going to be... Okay, so I'm going to go... so the Fables generally they're very collectible cards, but they haven't been the most playable or the most required in decks. I think it's going to have to do with the, Blood Shards?
Blood
Debt?
Blood Debt.
So I think there's going to be a light version of a Blood Debt card, and I think the Fable is going to give you a credit towards a Blood Debt or
a debt.
Yeah, or to a debt card.
Or something like that.
A holy debt or a blood debt or whatever the other mechanic ends up being.
Okay.
Just the hat's right back on.
I mean, I could see it.
I'm hoping that's what we go to. Do you have any thoughts on the Fable off the top of your head?
That sounds good to me.
That sounds good to me. Oh, last thing. 100 subscribers. We never do this. You want to walk off camera and get it? We made a promise early on.
I don't know if anyone saw it.
We made a promise that if we hit 100 subscribers, this box was found in a ton of our earlier videos. We made a promise that we would open and show you guys, our subscribers, what's in the box. We are at 92.
Something like that.
We never thought we'd be here. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate everyone in the different groups who supported us, all of our friends that come over and hang out for videos.
Yeah, I don't know. Thank you to everyone, especially all the feedback we got on our last video.
Yes, we probably will be sitting from here on out based on that feedback.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Until next time, we're Hometown TCG. I'm Josh.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you around. All right.
I think it was good.
That felt fine. It never felt like there was any hiccups. No. Oh,